Hello, YouTube, TeamAeon.com, wherever you may be watching this. This is Otagu with Team Aeon. We are here on our Spookoween October special, and we have a very special guest. We have Pink from the awesome, super special, awesome channel, DLC Games. How you doing, Pink?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic, and we are going to be talking something very, very close to my heart. It's Phantom of the Opera, because
Oh,
Phantom.
yes, right.
But we're going to be talking about the 2004 version. Before we do, though, little bit of history now. Pink, how much, besides watching the 2004 version, do you know of Phantom?
Actually, that's probably about my extent of it.
Okay, that is
Like
fine.
it's like I just never had the when you live in like middle America for most of your life, you don't get the luxuries of a lot of things. And also too, it like even if it was like college or high schoolers put it on, it's very, very rare to have it in the Midwest in general. Like it wasn't as like a big popular play. I could feel like it is because nobody really put it on during the time I was in school at any point.
Okay. Um, Now, as for me, and this involves Phantom as a whole, I remember there being like B Real or, non copyrighted version of Phantom in Muppet Babies, the Lon Chaney one. Um, but as far as this specific movie, my mom's friend who was into Phantom, when it came out, she told my mom, you gotta see this movie. And my mom, she got this movie and asked if I wanted to watch it. And I'm like, not really, because I didn't know what it was at the time. But she told me, yeah, at the end, the Phantom, he has this super messed up face, and told me about the Lon Chaney one. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to see that, so just call me when that happens. And then I think I went off to play RuneScape because I was, in high school.
Yeah, you
Um,
didn't really care. It's high school.
yeah, and we will get into how that turned out when we actually talk about it. But as far as the movie itself, it's based off of the fantastic stage play by Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera, and it originally was gonna have the original cast of Michael Crawford, Sarah Brightman, Steve Barton. There are interviews with Michael Crawford saying that production's going to start, I think, around 92. I may be a little bit off on that. But then nothing really happened with it. They did say Joel Schumacher was going to be the director. Um, they tried to work, well, Andrew Lloyd Webber worked with this one writer who wrote a sequel to Phantom that is horrible and somehow got turned into the sequel to the Phantom play, and we're not talking about that right now. Um, but
I didn't even know
fast.
there was a sequel.
Oh, we took a little trip to Coney Island.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
fast forward to 2004. They didn't have Crawford or Brightman or Barton. Well, at that point, Barton died, unfortunately. Joel Schumacher was there. They got their cast, and we got Phantom.
right. Which I didn't think it was a bad group, really, in honesty. And it didn't, but actually, I'm going to say this movie actually got me into liking Gerard Butler in general.
And that's the thing. Let's talk about our Phantom first, because any production of Phantom of the Opera, it is dictated by who is the Phantom,
Mhm.
and what are you a fan of Gerard Butler as far as fangirling or just a fan of his acting?
I would say I was more and more fan acting because like I said, I didn't know anything. See, I feel like with fangirling, you would follow from the first time they started something. Like I'm gonna say, for example, like with my fangirling would be like Zac Efron, because I known him from when he started way younger in Summerland, which a lot of people don't know about that show. They only know him about when he got to High School Musical. So, there's that. That's why I consider fangirling is when you start him from the beginning, like way, way beginning. See, I don't know if Gerard Butler did anything before this one, so I didn't know. I haven't really paid attention to too much of his movies, so I'm more of like, I liked his acting, I guess. Because it was just, you did good. I feel like you did good.
Yeah, it seems like he's fallen off the face of the earth, but back then he was a high-grossing actor that if you saw him attached to something, then you would probably go. Kind of like Tom Cruise and people like that. And I think that's why he was selected, because he wasn't selected due to, his singing prowess. He was selected due to the fact that they wanted to appeal to a wider audience. And back then, like with comic book movies, it wasn't being made per se to entertain just comic book fans. It was made to appeal to a wider audience. So that's why they actually got actors and actresses versus pulling people that actually were in the play. I mean, like John Coudet, Howard McGillin, actual singers that have played the part.
Right.
Now, when I did go back and watch the movie, because I did go see the Vegas play, and then I went to actually give the movie a second chance. As far as it's starting, it looks really good. It looks like what I would envision if the movie was a movie and not a play, where you see the Paris Opera House and you see, where it transitions and it starts that whole overture. That part is great.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's like one of my favorite parts. I get goosebumps every time I watch the beginning of the movie. It's just even like it was smooth transition. There was not no hiccups. It was just all smooth. I felt like they did a good job with that for being 2004, because 2004 was still in that steps, like in the early 2000s are still in the steps of like all those big production stuff of like, I don't know, like your CGI stuff and stuff like that. Like all the big stuff that. It's not so claymation or something like that. So I felt like it did a good job for its transitioning.
Oh yeah, it definitely did, and it gave me high hopes that it was going to be a good movie. While it is a little bit infamous now, it had a good start, and as far as all the supporting cast, like we'll talk about Christine and Raoul and the Phantom, but as far as the supporting cast, it is great. While there is the complaint of why does Madame Giry be the only one with a French accent, which I love her, but as far as the acting, they got great actors.
Oh, I thought they did good. I think they did a good pick for what I would say, but some of them I don't know because it's just people I don't know. But I don't know if they came from the Broadway side or have like some, Broadway things. But yeah. Besides, I knew who Christine was because of, her, because I watched the movie before it. Well, I watched The Day After Tomorrow. No, that was after the fact. Never mind. So I saw her. I don't know how I did the movies. Weird. But I known her from like The Day After Tomorrow. I think I watched that first, and I think I did go backwards and watched her in Phantom of the Opera. I think that's how it worked with me with her. I think that's what got me attached to Phantom of the Opera, because I wanted to see more what she did. I think it was her first that I got attached to this Phantom of the Opera, was her.
See, this is the only thing that I recall she was in, and then I found out that she was in Dragon Ball Evolution as Bulma, and then...
I didn't even know anything about that, but I wasn't into Dragon Ball, so at the time as much. I knew of it, but never got into it.
We don't speak of Dragon Ball Evolution.
Well, I know we don't. That's why I say I don't know anything about it.
Don't really know Raoul. What was your impression of Raoul?
Kind of thinking, leaning towards with this one, they could have picked a better actor in some aspects, because when I'm thinking, like, if she's sitting there trying to distinguish herself between the Phantom and Raoul, I thought they could have picked a better actor, like, as in look-wise, because I didn't feel like I would got that connection of why I would choose him over the Phantom. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I mean, he had an okay voice, singing voice, but I just felt like I'm sorry, if I was Christine, I think I would have gone with the Phantom. I don't know why, but I would have in this movie over than Raoul.
No, I completely agree with you. Now, Raul's supposed to be a fop, and I've seen a lot of different Rauls, and he is like a super freaking pussy. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like he. Yeah.
and I mean, it's not knocking the actor, because the actor did do a good job to the point that he could, but there could have been, you know, so many other things he could have done. And your point is that why on earth would Christine pick this role?
Right. When, the whole entire, the last basically scene of the movie. But it's like, I'm sorry, I'm all honesty, I would have picked the Phantom out of this than him. I mean, because I feel like he would have, like, if they actually had confrontation, did they ever have a confrontation, like, actually fight in the Broadway play?
Kinda. There isn't the giant sword fighting scene, and oh my god, that sword fighting scene was bullshit. But instead, it's Christine. She does go to the cemetery to visit her father, and the Phantom is stalking her because reasons.
Right.
And that was also in the original Gaston Leroux's novel back in the day. And he has like this staff, and it shoots fireballs, and he shoots them at Raoul, daring him to come closer because he wants him dead.
Right.
But in the movie, are you gonna tell me that Raoul is going to outfight the freaking Phantom?
Right. When he comes down there to, like, try to save her, and I'm like, you don't look like I would trust to save me with the Phantom. Between, Gerard Butler and Patrick Wilson, who is Raoul, by the way, I'm sorry, I would see fucking Phantom winning if they actually had a duel of any sort. Because it's like, I can't see Raoul winning in the movie. I can't. I'm like, that's why I'm like, I would not pick you. I think I would pick the Phantom. Even though he's kind of crazy, but still.
Well, with this Phantom, well, I do have to say, and I know this sounds mean, and it's nothing to do with disrespect, because I realize that so many people became a fan of Phantom and joined, the community because of him and love him, and that's their Phantom. While I am not a fan of him being the Phantom and feel that he was picked because, one, he grossed money, and two, oh, well, Gerard Butler is sexy, which he is a very sexy man.
Oh,
Phantom needs to be extra sexy, even though in the play and in other versions, he's basically in his 50s lusting after, someone that is very young. So I see why they changed that. He did do a good job for his ability. I do think they actually did an injustice to him, though. There is a deleted song that wasn't in the musical called No One Would Listen, and that one, I don't get why they cut it, because it is what makes me love him as a Phantom.
Okay. I never heard that song, but yeah, okay. Might have to maybe find the song and listen.
Oh, it's a video, and it...
Well, what I'm saying, like, yeah. Music video, yeah. But, yeah, okay.
But, I mean, where it counts, though, he does hit the points. One of the best parts for him is actually the ending, where he's breaking the glass and he's making his exit to run away. There is so much emotion there, and he seems genuine.
Oh, yes. I mean, I about cried for him, I did. I cried at the end with him when he lost, basically Christine in his mind, But it was just like, God, yeah, I see that passion. Like, he did put passion into that scene, I felt like maybe something did go on during that time when he was filming that scene, possibly. I don't know. But
Yeah, it's up for debate if the Phantom and Christine did it. They did make a lot of changes from the play into this. One of them is adapting the story to work with that sequel book that's a piece of crap. That Andrew Lloyd Webber was planning and writing the sequel, so they needed to make the original link up with that. And they did take a cue from the Phantom book that was written in the 90s, Susan Kay, where you remember his origin story where he's in the cage and he has like the sack on his head.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was kind of in that book, and Madame Giry saves him, and then he's like just there, and I guess Madame Giry raises him.
See, now that kind of threw me off. Because, okay, so, like, when you're seeing that backstory, you're assuming, yes, that the Phantom and Madame Giry should be about close in age. Maybe, like, I'm going to say maybe a couple of years younger. But it seems like he seems younger because he gets older to Madame Giry. Mary Giry sounds like she's about to be on her deathbed. Like, I mean, just the way the actress looked, you know? Like, how it made her look so old. I know she had, like, a full-grown daughter and everything. But it just made it look like they're not even close in age, you know? So I felt odd about that when they show me that scene and then you show them now, you know? Yeah. So it's like it made no sense at all.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if it was maybe because of the makeup choice, like how somebody put the makeup on the actors or actresses, you know, making them look like that. Or I don't know, but it felt like Madame was way older than the Phantom in some aspect, like maybe about 10 or 15 years or 20, you know?
The Phantom needs to be young and sexy, or, you know, the fangirls.
I get that, but you can't just throw me a scene in the movie where it seems like they're close in age when they meet, and then you come to, like, now, or, you know, like the now of the movie, and he seems like he's way younger than she is.
The Phantom's
I don't know, it threw me off with the movie how that would perceive me, like how I would took it in. Like, somebody that doesn't know anything about the play at any sort, that threw me off.
The Phantom's not supposed to be sexy, but anyway, no.
Well, I know, but you know, yeah.
but you have a valid point there, where, okay, let's say Madame Giry and the Phantom are similar age, maybe he's like 5, maybe 10, you know, we'll be generous.
It's about 8 or 9 in that thing. It looks like about like 8 or 9. Yeah, he's like 8 or 9 in the movie. So, like when they show that scene. Looks like he's about 8 or 9 when they meet.
So
she looks about like, then she looks like she's about maybe 12, 13 possibly, if I remember correctly, the way she looked. So like they're not like too far off.
Yeah, and then somehow she has a daughter the same age as Christine, but he still looks like he's in his 30s.
Yeah, like he's like maybe late 20s to early 30s, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. That it doesn't mesh to me. It's just like, really, guys?
The one thing I do feel they disappointed me in, as far as visually, because the whole thing's visually amazing and on point. You know, the Phantom's lair, everything, is the masquerade.
All the background, yeah. Yeah, I love the whole background. The backroom aesthetics was beautiful. They did a good job. Gigi too. Whoever was the set people, they did a good job. Yes, I give them points for that.
Yeah, the letdown was Masquerade, because in the stage play, it is so colorful, like possibly to the point of being too colorful. And here it's black and white, which I get how they were trying to go for that creatively, and then the Red Death comes out, but it was a letdown for me.
But I think they were trying to lean towards like what would have been during that time, possibly. I don't know how accurate the book is or how Andrew Lloyd Webber actually paid attention to the time period. But for all we know, that could have been the time period colors. For all we know, maybe they were going for that aesthetic. Maybe during that time period, maybe that was their kind of thing. back in that time. Maybe they were trying to do some historical events too in some aspects, or fashion or whatever.
I'm really not sure. I mean, in the Lon Chaney version, and this is one of the reasons I love that movie so much, is since it was a black and white silent film, there was a way to put color into movies, and that is the only scene that had color, and that's one of the reasons it was so revolutionary. Of oh my god, color!
Right.
So I do have to say that I was disappointed there. And then oh my, past the point of no frickin' return.
Oh no, I felt like I got emotional with that one. Like it kind of hit me in some ways. Like I do want to follow you, but then I don't want to follow you.
It was.
I don't know why.
It was sexy. It was seductive, even more so than the stage play. I give that part. I give them that credit, but then, and this is where my mom is yelling my name. Come in here! They're doing it, you know. And you know, I run my behind into her room, and they rip off the mask, and what the ever loving, what? He's missing an eyebrow. What the hell is this?
Oh, like my thing is, how are we perceiving? Like, does anybody know what the Phantom looks like at any point in time?
As far as what do you mean?
Like, do we ever like even in the play? Do we see him taking off the mask at any point? Do we have any backstory of why he has the mask on?
Yes, like, in every
okay.
version. While some of them are very different, the common thread is that he is deformed, either half face or full face, to the point that he has been shunned by society, has to reside in you know, the murky basement under the basement of a damn opera house because he loves music for one reason or another, and he hides his face. There's always a face reveal. It's always screwed up for one reason or another, whether it's, you know, Lon Chaney, that oh my god, he was the man of 1,000 faces, or burnt by acid, or weird Crayola crap on the face, or he just, you know, rotted his skin because he made a deal with the damn devil and sewed skin on. But we won't get into why Robert Englund is a treasure. Or anyway, in the stage play, I will say, and this is a negative thing about the stage play, they went too far with him being screwed up, but they had to do it mainly because it was a stage play. So you go from he's supposed to be really gnarly looking under this mask to are you like a burn victim and you're missing your eyebrow? I really don't. How do you look like that? And then in the damn like rewind of your childhood, they have a paper sack on your face and are called the Devil's Child. I don't get it.
Well, see, that's the thing. I really want to know more on the backstory of why is his face deformed. Like, did he actually get burned by something? Like, did he get in a house fire with his parents? And, you know, and his parents died, you know, like he tried to save, but he got burned on his face. I don't know. That's what I was kind of asking, like, with the play, if they do explain it a little bit better. Like, did he, like, how did he get that way? Like, was he born that way? Was he, like you said, thrown acid at, you know, I don't know what in the time period what they would have done that to make the face, like only one half of the face basically, or eye, whatever. Basically not even half the face, like a quarter of the face, be all deformed.
That is addressed on the final lair scene in both the movie and the play.
Maybe I missed that.
A mask, my first unfeeling scrap of clothing.
Which probably sounds like that would have been probably like the little whatever.
No, it's
not the sack, I meant.
Not the sack, but his mother basically giving him a mask to cover his face, so he was born that way.
So he must have so I feel like if anything back in that time, I feel like he had a birth defect of some sort that had to do with the face. But not to the effect that it looks like it's a burn victim.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
you've seen like cleft lips, different things like that. Like that kind of stuff, yeah, I could see them, the Phantom having something like that or some kind of, Quasimodo looking thing. But he doesn't even look like Quasimodo.
Oh, no, he doesn't. That's what I'm thinking. And I think people took it to the extent of it that he's a burn victim when it's probably, all honesty, just a big, dark, probably whatever blood look, I don't know, whatever, like a birth defect of some sort, like just the skin. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, like if you have anything that big, yeah, it puzzles me with it, like how people take it as a burn victim.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't even that noticeable. It was so what the hell, mainly because, myself, my parents, they think to Lon Chaney, and mind you, with makeup in the 1920s, he looks so screwed up. And with all the technology, while yes, the technology is better now, this is 2004. 2004. Right. And besides the weird ass Phantom that's having sex with the damn rats, and besides that one, you have the worst makeup job in 80 freaking years?
I'm wondering if they were just trying because they want to keep Gerard Butler still looking hot, basically, or at least looking that it's him. So that's probably what they did. And that's how I feel like what they probably did.
But
just to try to keep him looking still like somewhat good looking, because like they said, like you were saying to me, like he was probably, because he was a big box office actor, to play the Phantom just to get some attention, some money into this movie. Probably didn't give as much as it should, but yeah, or to them I meant that they should, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I understand that, where they have to keep him sexy and selling, but they did something very similar for similar reasons back in the 40s with Claude Rains' version, where he did not want a full face deformity. So what they did is they deformed half the face with a burn. And when he released, half of his face was still sexy Claude Rains, which Claude Rains is a sexy man, but the other half was screwed up.
Right. So it was more like half of his face then?
Yeah.
The majority of his face. Okay. So to me, I feel like it has something to either do with Gerard Butler being probably a diva about his look, or had to do with the producers or the director wanting to do something, I'm afraid. Maybe that was probably the it of it, and that's probably why it was like only a quarter of his face.
It was something of his face, but
but you know what I'm saying, yeah. Of how far it went. That's what I was like getting at. Like, I don't know if it was one of those 3, 5, 4. I don't know how many reasons you can give that it could have been that. We would never know unless we talked to Gerard Butler himself.
Yeah.
Or the other people themselves.
Yeah, but I will say, minus that is the main reason I detest this version. It was such a letdown. Overall, it was good. While they didn't get stage actors, the people that they did hire did a good enough jobs. It looks beautiful. It makes you feel like there are points where you want to cry. Like at the end, when Raoul goes to the grave and he sees the ring that Christine gave the Phantom.
My God, yes.
The Phantom's alive, and it leaves room for the sequel if they have the sequel, but it also ties it in a neat bow in case there's no sequel.
Right, so it's like could be or could not be. It depends on when people want to come back to it or whatever, if they want to. Which I doubt it, because they would probably by now done it if it was, but I don't know how much successful it was in theaters because I didn't know anything about it, because I only saw it on DVD version, so. Yeah. So it was like, I think it was after the fact, because I think I watched Day After Tomorrow first, and then I went into this as a DVD thing. Because, like I said, I watched Emmy Rossum, Christine, basically, first, as in that, and I think I liked her as an actress, and I went and see what else, and I saw The Phantom, when I was like, okay, it's a musical, and I like musicals, so because I'd never seen it, so I was like, okay, well, then I checked it out.
Now, as far as as rating, because you like musicals, as a musical movie, or however you want to rate it, what would you rate this movie?
Honestly, they could have picked better. They could have picked better for Phantom with Gerard Butler. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, he has the looks, but his voice is not up to par as I would thought for the Phantom of the Opera. Because, like, when you're thinking Phantom of the Opera, you're thinking a little bit more operatic, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm not saying going full opera, but you know, something. Because I mean, like everybody else was doing good with the opera style, whatever. I don't know about Raul because Raul, yeah, whatever, Raul's Raul. But I would give this movie, honestly, of my own rating, it's going to be from a musical standpoint of that, I would say about 4 out of 10 if we're doing like that.
Okay.
Like it had its moments. It had its moments. Like I said, the sets were amazing. But like I said, casting could done a little bit better. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to rate this, and this is really hard for me because I know that there are Phantom fans, because I've talked with them, they are so passionate and they love this so much, and
Right.
they would give this a higher rating, but for me, I will rate it along the lines of I understand that they made this the way that they did because it was a movie and quote unquote people don't go to see musicals just like people don't go to see comic book movies. So if it was made today, it would probably be way better. But now, as far as for its time, one, I would say they really needed a way better Raoul, but I'll give it a 6. And I know I'm being ultra generous because you know my mind is like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2, but
Right.
I will give it a 6 just because they did have a lot of obstacles to make this. I mean, it took them over 10 years of development hell. I would say 15 to 10 years. They were trying to make it so it worked with something that hadn't even been written yet. Um, and they had to play Hollywood's rules. Now, mind you, still no reason to have Phantom's face like that, but I'll give it a fair shake, and I'll give it a 6. If you're a Phantom fan, definitely watch it. But go look on YouTube, or even now, and this is the great thing, because people realize that people like musicals and it makes money. They have released the stage version of Phantom of the Opera, so go watch that, then go watch this and compare the two.
Right. Yeah. Because I saw that yesterday. Yeah, it was on yesterday because I was on the Broadway. I followed the Broadway thing because they were doing the Disney thing, but they did put on the play for basically for free on their little site. I think what was it? Hold on, let me see. Let me find it because it is something I subscribe to on YouTube that people can go look and watch them do plays. But it has to do with like, oh, what is it? Because it's going to throw me off because I know it'd be something anybody that wants to watch Broadway. They usually pop in with movies because they did show the Broadway play. I was going to watch it, but I didn't know when they started because they
Yeah.
premiered the Phantom of the Opera stage.
I think they
But
did
it's
that one, and then they showed the sequel.
yeah. See, I didn't know. I saw it premiering yesterday, and I was just like, oh, I would love to watch it if I knew exactly when it started. But no, when I looked at it, it was like, oh, it's just premiering now. So I don't know when it would have been in. But yeah, it's some Broadway thing. God damn, I have a lot of subscriptions and I didn't even know it. I know it's in here because Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS thing.
Yeah.
They do play. Yeah, that's the one I just subscribe to that do plays and stuff like. Yeah, they've been doing like a lot of that. So
Very nice. But for now,
but yeah, but yeah.
for now, here's where we're gonna end it, guys. Thank you, Pink, so much for doing this with me. I love Phantom. I love talking about Phantom.
Right? I know it's even just a movie. I'm sorry.
No,
I have to get more cultured about the Phantom of the Opera plays.
oh, it's okay. I will expose you and allure you into my watery, hell-soaked lair.
There you go. If they show it again, like somewhere on, like Find It, I'll probably try to watch it.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, you know what you need to check out on?
What?
Check the Oklahoma play with oh, what's his name? God damn it. It's gonna throw my name. The one that plays Wolverine in the
Hugh
X-Men movie.
Jackman!
Yes, and you get to see him shirtless for a good while.
Ooh.
It's like a 1990s play of like in England or whatever, I think. And yes, me and Sil watched it for free one time because it was free for a weekend on Broadway HD. It's a TV show, a TV thing or an app thing. Oh my God, seeing Hugh Jackman shirtless for a good while, I was like, he still looked good back then, even without the Wolverine, whatever. But yeah, that's a good one to go check out too. Is Oklahoma with Hugh Jackman in it?
Nice. I'll have to look into that. But guys, check out DLC Games. They stream on Twitch like all the frickin' time. Pink and her husband Shadow. Check them out. Tell them that the crazy Phantom lady sent you. But this is
But yeah, the schedules are is he does Monday through Friday. I do Saturday and Sundays on streaming.
okay.
So if you want to come see me, I'm on Saturday and Sundays. If you want to see him, it's Monday through Friday.
Okay. For now, this is Otago with Team Aeon. Remember to like, subscribe, check us out at teamaeon.com, and enjoy your Phantom.